pastor, fellow Toastmasters. What is the best gift that you've ever received? Think about that. Think back to your birthdays, holidays, even anniversaries. We get so many gifts over the course of our lifetime, but sometimes they can be difficult to remember. I have been married for 5.5 years, and although I appreciate all of the gifts that my wife has given me over those years for our anniversary, I only remember a few. But there's one that stands out among all the rest. And the reason it stands out is because she actually didn't even buy the gift for me. But before I tell you what that gift was that she didn't get me, let me give you a little bit of the backstory. So about a year into our marriage, things were going great. We just bought a new house. The neighborhood was great. Beautiful green lawns, walking trails, wonderful neighbors. Everything was great about it. We even bought a new car, a brand new Toyota Prius. Everything was going great on the surface. I had been listening to a radio program by a guy that my wife now hates. His name was Dave Ramsey. And like any good young new husband, I said, things are just going so well, how can I mess this up? I have to figure out a way to destroy our marriage. And I figured out what I should do. So I created a spreadsheet, I calculated all of the expenses we should cut from our budget, and outlined exactly how we could get out of debt as fast as possible. But as you all know, timing is everything. So I had to wait for the perfect time to bring this up. And for anyone who's in the room who's married, you know that the perfect time to bring up a topic like this is after work in the middle of an argument. And so I did that. Right as we were arguing about money, I brought up Dave Ramsey. I said, well, Dave Ramsey says this. Dave Ramsey says that. And one night she said, if you love Dave Ramsey so much, maybe you should go to another room and sleep with him. I was wondering what was going to happen to my marriage with me being so gung-ho about getting out of debt so quickly. But eventually, I was able to convince her that this would be worthwhile. Because when we get out of debt, that would free up money for her to make purchases on things that she wanted. So she got on board with me. And when we started, we didn't want to start small. We started big. So the first thing we did, even though we only had it for 4 or 5 months, we got rid of the Prius. Now, we had $32,000 worth of debt at the time, and the Prius was $18,000 of that debt. The only problem is, it was only worth $16,000. So we paid someone $2,000 to take our car. It was extremely difficult, and my wife had the same puzzled look on her face that many of you have right now. But it did change our financial position, and now we only owed $14,000. So we had a little bit of momentum going, and we continued trying to get out of debt. Time went on, and later in that year, we realized that our anniversary was coming up. And obviously, early into your marriage, you want to make sure that you get the anniversary gift right. But as we were talking about it, she said, you know, I'm so ready for this to be over. Maybe we shouldn't do anniversary gifts this year. Let's just go out to a nice dinner, and let's get each other cards. But the catch is, you have to write a really heartfelt message in the card so that I know that you care about me and you love me, and that'll make up for not getting a gift. Now, at this moment, I said, absolutely, that's a deal, because I wanted to make sure that I solidified that before she started thinking about jewelry and all these other expensive things. And so I hopped on it, and I said, outstanding. I would love to exchange cards. I'll write the best card you've ever seen. So that was the plan. About 3 weeks later, our anniversary rolls around, and we're driving to the restaurant. I'm feeling great, and just as we pull into the restaurant parking lot, I had that mini heart attack because I realized I forgot the card. I had one job, and I forgot the card. This was going to be the cheapest anniversary ever, and I blew it. So I was extremely disappointed, and I was trying to figure out, how am I going to tell my wife what I have done? So I hung my head in shame, and I looked over to her, and I said, I forgot to bring the card. I didn't get a chance to go buy it. And she looked at me and said the words that every husband wants to hear in that moment. I forgot yours too. I was so relieved. It was a prayer answered. But just as we were sitting there talking and sort of laughing about it, I saw across the street there was a Walgreens, and it was illuminated. It almost seemed like there was a halo. And I said, this magical Walgreens is perfect. And so I said, the night is not ruined. Why don't we go to Walgreens and we'll just get each other cards and then we'll go on like it never happened. She laughed a little bit and said, all right, why not? Let's go. So we go into Walgreens. We're in the card aisle. We're trying to pick out the right card. I knew that I needed to get a deluxe card because I've already messed up. So I had to make sure I got a really good one. So as I'm looking for just the right card, and to be honest, I was a little cost conscientious, so I was looking at cards that were $4.99 and $6.99, getting a little concerned, but I figured it's not diamond, so I'll go ahead and splurge on the big card. Now, right as I'm looking at that, my wife comes up to me and she says, if we're really trying to get out of debt, why are we wasting money on cards? And now she was really speaking my language, because I'm the total nerd. But she said, I don't think we should spend this money on the cards. She said, it's really the thought that counts, so why don't we just figure out what cards we would have picked out for each other, and then we'll just share them, we'll exchange them right here in the aisle. And so we did. We exchanged cards right there in the aisle, and at that moment, it clicked for me. I realized that we were going to be okay, because I realized that it wasn't about stuff. The value of what she gave me was not about the piece of paper or the item or any gift that she's ever given me that was physical. It was about the memory that was created from that gift. And so her not giving me or not buying me that gift was actually the best gift I never received. Thank you.